What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another classic vintage episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Touchdown Nation, man, get your popcorn ready because we got a dope live show for everybody. Before we get into it, and the reason you would click on the thumbnail, we're going to talk about the NFC Championship starting here in about 3.5, 4 minutes. Very exciting. We just found out the Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. They did it. They're going to the Super Bowl. It's happening. Who would have thought? Maybe Miss Cleo, but she ain't alive no more. So, but let's kick off the show. I have to introduce my guest before we play the dopest intro in the world. We got Mr. Asif Ali. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, really quickly, man, tell us very briefly about your podcast and where people could find you.
Yeah, everybody, I'm Asif. A pleasure to be on your show today to kind of break down, preview, the NFC Championship game. Essentially, the show which I currently host is called the Digitally Dreaming Off the Gridiron Podcast. It was formerly known as the 81 Podcast and until we rebranded it a month ago. And essentially, you can find it on Apple. No, sorry, you can't find it on Apple. You can find it on Anchor. You can find it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, and YouTube. And pretty much, that's pretty much it. So
love it. And then right next to me, we got Prevy Hip Hop. How you doing today?
Yo, what up, man?
Good to see you, sir. Real quick, tell folks where they can find you and support your content.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, IG, and TikTok at Prevy Hip Hop. You could also find my Facebook, Will Richardson, which Prevy Hip Hop, my music page, is attached to that. And you could also find me on YouTube, Will Prevy Hip Hop Richardson. And yeah, that's what it is.
Dope. And then down below, man, we got my guy from day one, Mr. Lloyd Garza, man, diehard Cowboys fan. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Great football coming up. That last game was good. Thanks for having me. I don't do podcasts or anything like that, but
you good?
I'm a sports savant. I got my team right there.
Ooh.
I'm feeling
really
that.
Cowboys for real, man. I would say you really bleed Cowboys.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, for sure. Well, those who don't know, man, I used to have a podcast before the Touchdown with Doug Smith. It was called War and Peace 210. It was a hip hop show, and we had one sports episode ever, and Lloyd was actually on that. So I wouldn't bring him on the show if he didn't know his stuff, man. And Lloyd, man, thank you for coming through, man.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So, hey, let's get into meat and potatoes. The reason you clicked on the episode, and I'm going to go ahead and play this intro, and we'll be right back with some ill content. Here we go.
Touchdown with Doug Smith, celebrate, that's a new move. Heisman, 2 views, catch them on YouTube. NFL coverage, interviews, who lose, who win, who lose. Comedy, you choose, it's not about moolah. The QB's like Tua is missing in action. No L's on my shooler. Play it like Marino, it's a gamble like casino. Hungry for it, but you know we still gon' try to feed the beef. Rivalries will lead the conference. Cowboys are the Eagles. Will Belichick be a threat? Better check. Tomlin on deck. Much respect to the vet. What to expect? Gotta tune in for the rest. Make sure to sub, like, check. At the best, Bad Boy, the sports podcast. For the threat across the north, east, south, in the west. Sitting back clueless. Time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.
That's right, everybody. Not another sports center, but you better know it. That is definitely a movement. Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Just previously introduced all my awesome guests on the show here today. And, man, let's kick it off. As y'all know, and the reason you clicked on thumbnail, 49ers versus Rams. Lloyd, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with you, man. What are your thoughts on today's game, man?
49ers versus Rams. I feel like the 49ers Cinderella story ends today. Obviously, I had the Cowboys in the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season, being there in the NFC. But now that didn't pan out, the Rams were kind of the team I was worried about going up in the NFC Championship. Mm-hmm. I think about 31-17. Rams taking it. Defense too much of the Niners offense. So we'll see. I could be wrong, but I got the Rams winning.
Okay, hey man, I respect it, man. I respect it, dude. They're two good teams, man, and I know Rams are especially out for blood, man, because the 49ers has just been giving it to them. I mean, every time they play, man. So, Prevy, man, what you got, man?
Man, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a gap in the score. I think it's gonna be another close game, as these playoffs have shown us. the 49ers can control the ball game with their run game. They don't shy away from the run. They will run the ball, even if they're not really getting yards, but they just keep chipping away, and then they'll break a good one. So I don't see it being that easy for the Rams, even though I do have the Rams winning this one, because I think they're finally going to beat San Francisco after losing 6 straight. I think they're going to finally come to play. There's a lot of firepower. By default, I'm rooting for the Rams because I told you on the last podcast we did for the AFC Championship, both Von Miller and Matthew Stafford are from Dallas-Fort Worth. So by default, I'm rooting for them. And I think that Von Miller, not Aaron Donald, Von Miller is going to make the play in this game. He is going to get to Jimmy Garoppolo, and he is going to strip sack him to make the play of the game. That's my prediction, but I think it's going to be relatively low scoring, and I'm going to go 24-21, the Rams.
Okay, love it. Asif, man, what you got?
Man, I mean, I just see a bunch of Cowboy fans on here, and I can't be surprised with the picks.
I'm a Dolphins fan, man, so I'm a little different.
You're good. You're good. I've had 4 guests in the past 2 days, 3 of which who are either actively in the NFL or have played in the NFL, and they've basically been split. So essentially, kind of what I mean by that is that my guest on Friday, Marcus Ogden, 5-year NFL offensive guard, he basically picked the 49ers to win the game because of the fact that, they have the Rams number. Sean McVay has not figured out a way to out-scheme Kyle Shanahan, and the kind of versatility of our offense outside of the run game with Debo and Kittle definitely provides another dimension, as my 2 co-hosts who are Cowboys fans have now learned the first round. On top of that, our defense, we're fully healthy. And our special teams we're definitely going to be the difference maker like they were last week in Lambeau, because on Rams, I mean, if you watch the game against Tampa, they let Tampa come back down from 27-3 to tie the game, and essentially came down to the last 42 seconds. Matt Stafford, he's fortunate he made those throws Cooper Kupp, but if you recall week 18, he had the same kind of situation against the Niners. He also made those throws, and then Jimmy gave the game away, but then he was able to make the throw to get the Niners down to the field, kind of down to game time or game winning kind of a position on the field in the red zone, and he got a touchdown, and then went to OT, and then they beat them in their own house, with a field goal. So I don't see any reason to think otherwise. The only reason I think kind of, to Marcus's point when it was on my show a couple of days ago, essentially, Trent Williams' health is the only thing that's going to be kind of something to monitor, because he has a high ankle sprain. So with the high ankle sprain, what you got to monitor with that is kind of, the planning, obviously, and then obviously the sliding, for different types of run blocking schemes, for zone run schemes, right? You're going to have to make sure that, he's fully ready, because the offensive line is going to have to be synced against 99 and 58, I mean, eventually, because Vaughn and AD are going to come, and they're going to come after Jimmy hard, right? So essentially it's going to be it's going to come down to kind of, in my opinion, the offensive line of the Niners against the pass rush against the Rams. And it could also go the other way too, because Nick Bosa, I mean, depending on how he plays, if he plays the same way he did last week, I mean, essentially, it could be a very long day for the Rams, Yeah. So again, I mean, the Rams definitely have more firepower, I would say, as a collective unit. They may be the more talented team on paper on both sides of the ball, but I do think my Niners are going to pull it out 24-17.
Ooh, love it. Well, let me ask, and this is really open up the floor. Now, obviously, the Niners are doing something right if every time they're playing the Rams. In everybody's opinion, this is just kind of opening up the floor. What have the Rams done lately to make us think that they would beat the 49ers? Now, I haven't done my prediction. I'm saving it for the end. But do you think that this is the same the same Rams team that we've seen in the past when they played the 49ers? Or you think they're different? Let's open up the floor.
I think this is what they got Matt Stafford for, is for the game like this. And obviously, judging by this season, and forget when Jared Goff was the quarterback, but judging by this season, he hasn't proved that he could beat the 49ers just yet. But I think this is really on Sean McVay. And I feel like Sean McVay is going to finally figure out, because it's tough to just keep beating a team and beating a team and beating a team. So I feel like Sean McVay's finally going to find a way to slightly outcoach Kyle Shanahan. And he's going to be able to get his team to finally get over that hump against the 49ers. So this is on Sean McVay. If he doesn't do this, there's going to be questions because this team is stacked. Like this shouldn't even be a question on paper when you look at the teams. It should not be that hard for the Rams to beat the 49ers. But, as much as being a Cowboy fan, and I give the 49ers a respect, like we could learn something from them as Cowboys. Like I said, and I keep saying this, Doug, run the damn ball. We don't have an offensive coordinator who sticks to the damn run. The Niners run game, it's not like they're breaking these big runs. They just stick to it, and that's why it's so effective, man.
Yeah. To add to your point, and then Lloyd, I'll let you hop in. The 49ers, they don't do a whole lot of special things, but what they do it dang well. They do it very well. And then you have a guy like Jimmy G. He's definitely in my humble opinion, a middle of the range quarterback. That doesn't mean that's not a bad.
He has
thing.
his moments. He has some really good to great moments.
Absolutely, man. We saw in New England when he was there, like you build the right team around him. I mean, you can win some games, right? And then 49ers, they're doing it, But yeah, it's real interesting. Lloyd, what's your take on these Rams that are different possibly from the past?
I mean, I feel like they kind of built this team for the moment, man. They brought in Stafford, gave up a lot for him. He's a talented quarterback. He's never really had a team like he does now. Went out and got Odell. I feel like he's been kind of brought into the offense at the right time. He looks like Odell of the old. I feel like he's going to have a huge game. I feel like him and Cooper Kupp are both going to be right over 100. Cooper Kupp over 100. I feel like Odell may break that. What else do I got? I hear a lot of talk about Von Miller and Aaron Donald. I feel like Floyd's kind of slept on. I feel like he's going to – all the attention being paid to them, he might kind of break a big game. Garoppolo, I know he's still nursing that thumb. I was never high on him. I mean, he's a solid guy at the quarterback. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. So, I mean, he hasn't impressed me. I mean, that run game, like they're going to keep pounding the ball, but the defensive line of the Rams is kind of where their money's at. So, like I said, I feel like their Cinderella story ends today. And that I'm not just saying that because I'm bitter because what they did to us, but I just feel like they've been overachieving, man.
I feel you. And so I'll get my prediction, man. I do got the Rams winning, but this is gonna be a very close game. I got the Rams winning by less than 7 points, man. I'm thinking maybe they win by 4 or 5 points, man. This is gonna be a very close game. This will come right down. Deebo Samuel, man, he's elusive, but he's big and massive. You know what I mean? Like, and he's slippery too, man. I'm like, what's that? A video game glitch? This is real life, man. Like he's out there making moves, right? So he's gonna be a challenge for a guy like Jalen Ramsey, right? But they also have other good receivers, and you got Ayuk as well too, right? But I think it comes down to the trenches. I believe the trenches are what's going to decide this game. I believe Von Miller is getting right and healthy at the right time, and man, he's gonna come off that edge, man, just like he did against in the Super Bowl against the Panthers. Back when it was Broncos Panthers. You know what I mean? Like.
So he did it against Tampa Bay. Like that would have been the ceiling sack if the snapper didn't snap the ball over Matthew Stafford's head on the very next play. So
absolutely. So let's talk about this. All right. So my next question, and we'll wrap up the episode here shortly. What does a Super Bowl look like, man? 40? Could we get a repeat of the 80s? I think you and I were talking. Could we get a 49ers versus Cincinnati Bengals like rematch from the 80s, or do we get a LA Rams versus Bengals, man? And whoever makes it, who do you think? I mean, can the Bengals be beat at this point? I mean, they're just knocked off the Chiefs. Whether it be Rams or 49ers, whoever makes it.
I think that it's probably, like I said, because what I told you, I was like, man, it might just be meant to be a San Francisco versus Cincinnati rematch. And I mean, if it's fate, then that might be what it is. Like you never know. That sometimes things are just funny that way. And the football gods might say this is what it's going to be, a Cincinnati versus 49ers. I'm going to watch it. I think it'll be a great game. Joe Burrow, man, if he could pull this off, man, he might skyrocket. Because at first, watching KC and the Bills, I was like, okay, we're watching the two best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yeah.
And now Joe Burrow is like, hold on a minute, like, nah, bro, like I'm coming for that spot. So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting, man. But I guess we'll find out in a few hours.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Crazy games tonight, man. You got Joe Burrow. Obviously, he took his team all the way, and I never would have guessed that in a million years, man. Like Cincinnati Bengals on this. What? This is unheard of, you know. But also 49ers. I think my prediction, I had them at like 9 wins for the season and missing the playoffs. And obviously, I was wrong. You know what I mean? But the only team that's expected to be here that is still here is the Rams. And that just goes to show you, man, any given Sunday, anything can take and happen, man. So as we wrap up the episode, man, anybody have any last thoughts on the game tonight? Not everybody.
No last thoughts, but next year's our year.
As always. As always.
Hey, man, we got to get rid of Kellen Moore some way, somehow, man. If we're gonna do anything,
for sure.
So I'm the whole season. I don't care if we're winning every game. I'm be like, wait till the playoffs, because I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm a tired Cowboy fan, man.
You're not alone.
Yeah, no, Miami Dolphins, man. It's I don't know, man. We just got to let go of our coach, but also as well, he did a terrible job of building that O-line to protect Tua, right? And it's been terrible management.
You can't fire Brian Flores. You can't justify that.
No, I know. I'm not saying. I'm just like it hurts, man. Because B-Flow, man. I mean, remember the last time they played the Bengals? He actually tried to fight the whole sideline.
He's a really good
people want
coach.
to play for a coach like that. That's beautiful. He just his yin to his yang was, and the issue that he had was having a good offensive mind. By him, you know what I mean? And then you hired 2 offensive coordinators, which was confusing, and then the whole Deshaun Watson, man, it's just a lot of issues, man. And then of course our back office, I'm like, I wish we'd fire them instead of Flo, but here we are. Cool, man. Cool. Well, hey, look, everybody, thank you for coming on the show. If you're watching this, I'm gonna have everybody plug this stuff one last time. Let them know where they find them. Lloyd, you're out in Texas. You got your own business, man. You mind plugging your stuff real quick?
Yes, sir, for sure. I just started a mobile detailing business. I'm on Instagram, personal at LloydG210. Detail page, it's at Texan First Detail. Look me up, and thanks for having me, Doug.
Oh, no doubt, man. Hey, thank you for taking time in your schedule to come on through. And then Asif, man, tell folks where they can find you, man.
Digitally Dreaming OTG podcast on Instagram, DDOG podcast on Twitter. LinkedIn, my name with a bunch of acronyms at the end of it. So, but if you Google me by my first name or Google me Asif Ali Football, you'll find my player profile from 3 years ago, the Chicago Falcons. So, but yeah, essentially you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube, LinkedIn, Digitally Dream Out the Ground podcast, or my name, or you can find me on KenShamrock.com, which is where our podcast is featured. So KenShamrock.com/81podcast. You'll find us.
I love it, man. Preppy, man, go ahead and plug your stuff, man.
Yes, sir. You can catch me on IG, TikTok, and Twitter at Prevy Hip Hop. You could also check me out. I got my personal Facebook page, which is connected to Prevy Hip Hop, Will Richardson, and my YouTube, Will Prevy Hip Hop Richardson. I'd also like to say that Devil in My Dreams, short film that I wrote, directed, and starred in, which is the first film on my startup production company, Ethereal Vision. The premiere is February 1st on flickfair.com. It's an online virtual film festival. It's the world premiere of my short film. And if you go to all my social media on February 1st, you'll see how the details on how you could watch that. So stay tuned.
Check that out. Hey, that's 2 days away. 2 days away, February 1st.
Yes,
and
sir.
folks, enjoy the game. Right now, 0-0, and we're about 56 seconds in the game. So I'm going to go shut this down here. Everybody,
it's good meeting you guys.
Yeah, man.
Y'all too.
Hey, it's going down, man. Have a good night, y'all.
All right, Doug.
Too.
Peace.